What's up guys, CJ here and welcome back to another all-new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. review, this time for Season 4 Episode 10, titled The Patriot. This episode opens with Daisy, of course, back on the team, but it's still kind of a rough transition and one that's not really covered at all in this episode. It's actually used to set up the main plot, which actually starts with Mace and S.H.I.E.L.D. awarding, or really more like recognizing Daisy at a special ceremony when an apparent assassination attempt on the director goes wrong. Following protocol, Mac and Coulson rush the director to safety, but the enemy anticipates this, or maybe they planned for it all along and it's a cat and mouse game for the rest of the episode. Director Mace's mysterious case is at the heart of all of it. It becomes obvious over the course of the episode he considers its safety a top priority, even above getting himself to safety. But why? And we'll have more on that in a minute. Meanwhile, Radcliffe's scheming continues with the LMD May undercover at S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ, while the real May is sedated and monitored by Ada 2. This doesn't last long as May manages to rouse herself from the forced dream, which was apparently too peaceful, only to be sedated again by Ada 2. It's clear Radcliffe still thinks he can fix Ada, but he's kind of starting to doubt himself as Ada grows more and more aggressive. And it's also sowing some discord within the S.H.I.E.L.D. team itself, as Simmons, probably correctly, wants to destroy the head of Ada 1, while Fitz is a little more curious and is trying to diagnose and fix what went wrong. By the end of the episode, LMD May has also begun to realize she might not be human, which sets up to be something really big in the episodes to come, but for more on that, we'll just have to wait. Back on the mystery that is Director Mace, we finally get to see what's in that mysterious case. A serum. You see, it turns out Mace isn't actually an Inhuman, but rather is kind of sort of another attempt at recreating Captain America's super soldier serum. Basically, they needed an enhanced person to lead S.H.I.E.L.D. and to heal the divide in public opinion, but they didn't have any good candidates, so they made one, in the words of Talbot. And this was without a doubt my favorite part of the episode, just because it's a super clever way to both work within the political reality of the world the show's created, but also bring in some of Patriot's original comic book origin, as he was actually a replacement for the guy that replaced the original Captain America after Captain Rogers was missing and presumed dead in World War II. The episode ends with Coulson having a little more leverage over Mace now that he knows that secret, but he convinces the director to stay in charge as the face of S.H.I.E.L.D., as was planned by General Talbot all along, but it's Coulson calling the shots from here on out. On that note, let's get into some pros and cons, starting with the pros. Of course, I just mentioned my biggest positive was the way they kind of revealed Mace's secret, but also the LMD storyline continues to be really interesting for me. It's something that is one of those fringe Marvel ideas that has never been explored really, and I kind of like how they've tailored it for this show. They're using May, who is already very cold, calculating, and sometimes more robotic than human, and that's kind of throwing people off. They don't know that something's wrong, whereas I think if you replace someone like Coulson, it would probably be apparent. But that set up some difficulties for Radcliffe too, because they were sedating her with this forced dream imagery of her getting a massage, which is what woke her up from the sedation. She knows that she would not normally do that. I also think the show's dark tone is still working, as we're seeing some pretty gruesome and gritty things at times, like some dude getting his hand chopped off that we wouldn't have normally seen on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in seasons past, but aspects of the show still feel a little stiff and kind of stoogey, especially the writing at times. We're well into the cons now, but certain characters like General Talbot, for example, almost feel like caricatures rather than real characters. He, at times, has more in common with Stan Smith from American Dad than an actual general, though he redeemed himself in his final scene of the episode. After the incredible first half of the season with Ghost Rider, it feels like a little bit of a letdown, honestly, to return to a storyline that kind of feels more like the old Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of seasons past. But that really can't be avoided, and I'm just hoping they can ramp this LMD storyline up a little bit more and really capture the imagination in a way that the first half of the season did, but I kind of doubt it. I also kind of feel like the reveal of Mace's abilities, or lack thereof, could have been set up a lot better. I mean, that could have been an incredible, like, Snowden-esque plotline where this team that still really believes in the idea of S.H.I.E.L.D. has to blow the whistle on their own operation, but they kind of decided to, I guess, go a different direction. Overall, I'll give this episode a 7 out of 10. It was still an interesting watch, and I was thoroughly entertained, and the show is better and more intriguing than it used to be, but I still can't help watching and wondering why they make certain decisions the way they make them. But that's going to do it for me here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, and subscribe for more great content every single day. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.